Podcast, and it's your boy R.A.P. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, we here, man. Episode 12. I was out of town, man. I'm glad to be back with Dave, man. Skol live. I didn't put it in the title, but we doing the top 10 wide receivers going into the season. All right, so we're gonna wait. Let's wait a second, get some people tapped in real quick. Let's see. Let me add the chat really quick here. All right, hold up. There we go. Make sure I got the chat on. I know some people gonna tap in for sure. Let's see, man. It feel weird going live, man. We ain't been live. We ain't been live in
Yeah,
a
who
long
are you,
time,
man?
man.
Oh,
I
that's
know.
awesome.
Like,
You
dang,
changed.
boy. Took a break. There we go. We got people on. Yo, what's up? What's up, Larry? What's up, Eli? You in the building? Super Will. What's up, man? Appreciate everybody tapping in for sure. Appreciate everybody tapping in, man. We about to do. I was telling Dave, man. Well, Dave knows I was out of town. Y'all know I was out of town, man. But I'm back. It's time to get it popping up in this thing. Now we gonna do. So last week we did top 10 running backs. This week we about to rock with the top 10 wide receivers. So hey, y'all have y'all list ready, man. Y'all let us know if we crazy, if we bumped our heads, or we on top of our game. So
Most likely it was rap that went
yeah.
off the wall.
No, no, no,
I
no.
I threw a curveball in mine, so I might
I
get
mean,
some.
to be honest, like towards the end, I was kind of struggling. I was like, dang, man, there is some players
Man,
like,
there's a lot of good receivers out there. So
yeah, I was like, yo, there's some players that I wanted to put in there, but it is what it is.
easier to make a top 20 list.
Yeah, top 20, man. That's just too much though, man. We got to make it a little challenging for us. We got to make it a little challenging. He said JJ Stephon Diggs. I don't know, man. Yeah, we're gonna
I'm
see.
gonna get the chat on. Honestly. Here we go.
I hear like some feedback. I hope that's not mine. I
I
always
don't hear
wonder if
nothing.
that's mine. So I must be getting like feedback from something.
Yeah,
But
the video's good.
all right, so let's see. All right, so you want to start it off again, Dave? You might as well just start it off again. Go ahead with your number one.
Okay, number one receiver, former adversary. We saw twice a year. I just think he's got more advanced skills than any of the other receivers on this list. That back shoulder fade between him and Aaron Rodgers was killer. You could call it on any time. Devontae Adams, I think it consistently has been, a top three receiver. I think he's the best receiver in the league, and I'll explain why on the other receivers coming up. But I got Devontae Adams.
All right. So my number one, going into the season is Cooper Cup. It's obvious that he won the Triple Crown last year, and I'm just knowing that I don't see him changing at all. Like he's gonna go right into the season and just be again him, and I could see him and JJ honestly just competing for the top spot. As far as catches, yards, and touchdowns, like those two are probably gonna be battling. Devontae Adams, I feel you, man. He is a beast. I give him all his respect, but with his quarterback situation now, new offense, I don't think he's going to be up there competing with Cup and Jefferson as far as like touchdowns and stuff. I think he's going to have to kind of mold. But yeah, I'm Cooper Cup number one, baby. That's my number one right there. I got Cooper Cup number one.
Yeah, I probably would downgrade Devontae Adams a little bit if it wasn't for he was going to a guy that throws the ball and forces the ball just as much as Stafford does. So
yeah,
I figured he's going to be the focus of the offense there, just like he was in.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's gonna do his
college
thing.
teammates, right? And they were college teammates. So.
Yeah, he's gonna do his thing for sure. I don't doubt it. I'm just like I'm optimistic too. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like just the unknown, I guess, is why I didn't drop him number one. But
he says Percy Harvin. He's got to be playing to be in the top 10.
Yeah, we're doing top 10
going. This is
yeah,
an
we're doing
all-time
top
Vikings.
10. Yeah,
this
we're
is,
doing top 10
NFL.
into the season. Yeah, going into this new season. Yeah, that's what we're doing, Eli.
Yeah, top 10 wide receivers well. in the NFL in 2022.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
So my number two is Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
Notice who I already have him over. I have Justin Jefferson number 2 in the league. The only reason I don't have him number 1 is because that back shoulder fade of Devontae Adams, and I feel like he's got more advanced skills, kind of like not that he's Randy Moss, but Randy Moss was noted for not bringing his hands up until the ball's right there, deceiving the defensive back. The back shoulder fade, making last-second adjustments to catch the ball, to throw off the cornerback. He just has those advanced skills that I don't think we forced Justin Jefferson to do because we were such a conservative offense. And it's just that amazing that Justin Jefferson was able to get that many yards on a run-first offense. And he just recently got quoted, "We're no longer run first." I think I sent you that meme. But, Justin Jefferson's number 2 and probably easily could be number 1 this year. But I just think the advanced skills aren't quite there, and that's because he's just 5 years younger than Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Or 6 years younger, for 5 or 6 years younger.
Well, yeah, all right. So, and my number 2, obviously, is the same, man. I got Justin Jefferson number 2. And the reason is because, like I said, when I was talking about Cooper Kupp, is I just think Justin Jefferson and Cooper Kupp are going to be the 2 at the top of the list that are going to be battling for that, triple crown, just battling for the most receptions, most receiving yards, most receiving touchdowns. I just think they're going to be going head to head. So, yeah, that's my number 2, man. I mean, you said enough about him. We all know that our boy in the purple is the truth, man. That's just not a secret. So, yeah, he number 2 on my list, man.
So, on number 3?
Yeah, number 3. Yep.
I went with Cooper Kupp, number 3. I almost dropped him farther, and not that I don't like him. I love the guy. I liked him back when he was only catching 900 yards.
Yeah.
But he doubled his season. Like he hasn't come close to this in any other season. So it's a 1 season deal. I put Justin Jefferson on him because he did it in 2 back-to-back seasons, 1,600 yards and 1,300. That's amazing for a receiver. Cooper Kupp does not have 2 years like that. And he also has like 60 more targets than any of these receivers except for like and maybe 30 more than like 2 of these guys. But everybody else has got 50 to 60 more targets. I think a Justin Jefferson or Devontae Adams could do better than him if they got the ball thrown to him 60 more times. So I think and if you see a lot of screen passes, a lot of short yardage and catch and runs, his average yards per catch is like 13, which is his best all time in his career. I think he's a product of a system that helped him out a lot. He had the talent to be successful, combining that together, Super Bowl. But Cooper Kupp, number 3. I think the other 2 guys ahead of him are more talented.
Yeah. All right. I see you. Let me see. My number 3. Let's see if it's getting sticky yet. Nah. My number 3 is Devontae Adams. All right. So we pretty much, I mean, we pretty much got the top receivers the same. We just got them in different order. That's all. So we know, Devontae Adams, man, got to show him his respect. I got him as number 3. Like Dave was saying with the back shoulder. I mean, we'll see if Derek Carr can throw that same pass, though. I mean, I don't think he can. I'm just gonna be honest. He throws it deep. Don't get me wrong, but is he accurate enough? I don't think so. A lot of Derek Carr's throws downfield are him throwing a prayer up for the most part, or somebody's wide open and he's slinging it down there. But I mean, Aaron Rodgers is a different type of quarterback that really can put it in a spot where only Devontae can get it, and I don't know if Derek Carr can do that same type of stuff. But we're gonna find out, though. You know what I mean? Might not see as many back shoulder catches from Devontae this year, but I'm sure we're going to see plenty of catches from him, though, because he's just that good. And Derek Carr is good enough to, get him the ball, of course. So we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I got him. I got to put him number 3 at least. He top 3 on my book.
Yeah, I would. Stafford and Carr, I just always felt they were similar players.
Yeah.
So I thought, Gunslinger would take chances. I would take chances throwing as Devontae Adams.
Yeah, for sure.
That's fine.
I would too. Yeah, I would too. I'm sure he's gonna have a great season. Like, I don't doubt that not one bit. Like, That's why he's number 3 on my list. I mean, and pretty much 1, 2, and 3, they all can be swapped out. Like they're all interchangeable. Like at the end of the day, I mean, you know what
In
I mean?
fact,
Like,
my top 4 I think could be swapped out, but I kind of kept with a consistent rule.
yeah.
Number 4, I got Jamar Chase. He only did it in 1 year, but
Wow.
he did it very well. And the only reason I didn't put him over Cooper Kupp is because he's got more to prove than me.
Yeah.
But he's far ahead of what Cooper Kupp was at this time. But I think he broke the rookie record. He could possibly break the 2-year record at Justin Jefferson a little bit harder. He's he's got to get 1,600 yards like Justin Jefferson did.
Yeah.
Hopefully Justin Jefferson can put the 3-year record out of reach. But Jamar Chase, he just got such good concentration. I think he's got more concentration over Justin Jefferson because just balls that like went through receivers' hands, 2 receivers going by the ball. He was able to concentrate and catch it and then run with it. There's so many plays that were like cornerback, missed a pick. He catches it, runs in for an easy touchdown. He has so much concentration with hands in his face. Great route runner, fast. Just adjusts to the ball. And he runs and catches it. I love this player. I have so much confidence this guy has.
And I mean, not to start spicing this up too early, man, but he just got a better quarterback throwing him the ball, man. He got a better quarterback throwing him the ball. I mean, that's a fact. He might, to be honest, like Joe Burrow might not be considered better yet, honestly, but I mean, it's looking like he's getting there. Yeah, your guy's on, Dave. So he said, Knowledge, what's up, Knowledge, man? Appreciate you tapping in, family, for sure, though. You said you was watching the Browns podcast and they had Irv Smith as a trade target. I mean, shit, hey, look here. I mean, I'm not like hype on Irv Smith. Y'all know my vibe on
There's no
Irv.
way he's a trade target.
Yeah,
absolutely no way he's a trade target because who would we put at tight end?
Yeah, we wouldn't have nobody. Like he all we got, to be real. So, hey, it is what it is, but we got to keep him.
And what's the value going to be? What are we going to get, a 6th-rounder for him? Maybe.
Yeah, because he hasn't showed anything yet, really. I mean, he showed flashes
for the season.
Yeah, he showed flashes that he can play, but I mean, he has to prove something this year, man. He's probably somebody on the team that has the most pressure, like one of the people that have the most pressure on their shoulders. Like, hey, as far as just his health and everything, injuries happen, but I know it's in the back of his mind. Like, man, I cannot get hurt this season, bro. I got to play.
But we had like years with Sidney Rice being hurt until he had that big year, and then he got hurt after that again. We had years with Robert Smith as a running back having appendicitis or chicken pox, all this shit. He ends up, breaking out for 3 years. He could do that just like any of those other receivers and running backs we've had that struggled the same way.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so it's my number 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for number 4, I got DeAndre Hopkins. I just think DeAndre Hopkins is just a sure target. I know he was hurt last year, but it don't matter because when he ain't hurt, like like he's gonna ball out. Like that's just a fact. I know the past. I think it's been since he's been in the league. He's always led the league in like the least amount of drop balls. I think he even went through a whole season without dropping any passes. Like he never dropped a pass. So he's just one of those players. If the ball's in his vicinity, he's catching it, and he's good after the catch too. DeAndre Hopkins, man, had to put him at number 4. He's gonna start. He's gonna start. You know what I mean? As the list goes now, it's gonna. I bet you, me and Dave are kind of going on different wavelengths now because. Yep. I know for a fact we're going different now, for sure. But
I agree with everything you just said about DeAndre
Hopkins, though. Like, and there's guys that I forgot about, like for real. Like, I'm trying to think, like, God dang, like I know you're gonna say a name, and I'm gonna be like, damn, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, that's my guy. But yeah, who you got number 5?
I agree everything you said about DeAndre Hopkins. I just don't have him number 5, and I'll tell you my reason when I get to him.
Yeah.
But I agree with everything you just said. I want Deebo Samuels.
All right.
Samuel, not Samuel. I keep throwing
Deebo Samuel.
Deebo Samuel. He scares the crap out of me when he's on the field.
Yeah.
He just breaking tackles. He has I think on the top 10 list, he has the most yards per catch than any player on this list. I think he's like 18 and 18 a catch, and that's just otherworldly this day and age with controlled passing game. It wasn't like back in the 80s where, it wasn't uncommon that you get top receivers were like 18, 20 yards a catch because we threw the ball farther down the field. With this, when we're passing every down, it's tough to get over, 12, 13 yards. But this guy's got 18. Plus he has 350 yards rushing. Why not? But yeah, he's a big threat, and he's young, and he's 25. And he's maybe I maybe have him too high on my rule of like he only did it in 1 year, but it was an amazing year, and he was just dominant. He's a dominant player. I'd be scared to face him every week.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Hey, he is a savage. I ain't gonna lie. When he was talking about wanting to be traded and all, I was like, man, we can give them Dalvin Cook, and a pick, man.
Don't go to the Packers. I was like, don't go to the Packers. Don't go to the Bears.
Please,
don't go to the
man.
I didn't want. Oh, please, when I heard he was demanding trading, everybody's throwing crap at me about, I think there's talk about him going to the Packers. Like, no.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been good if he would have went to the Packers. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Jesus.
We would have got terrorized for the next 10 years behind that. Let's see. So we on my number 5. So my number 5 is Terry McLaurin from Washington. He single-handedly holds that team down, man. If you watching Washington play, he's the reason why you watching Washington play. Him, and of course they got Chase on the defense, but he is the reason on the offense, man. The offense runs through him. Like, he's that dude. So yeah, I had to put him up there. I had to give him some respect at number 5 because I just think his whole skill set is just that good. Like his hands, speed, everything. Scary Terry. Yeah, there you go. I know that was coming, Eli, man. That's what they call him, Scary Terry. That dude is just a savage. I would love to have him in purple, but hey, we get to watch him play this year because we're going to drag him, but still, at least we get to go against him this year and see what he does. But yeah, man, I had to put him on the list, man. That's my number 5 for sure. Terry.
You see the comment here by Dwayne. I see starters at wide receiver: Thielen, Jefferson, Osborne, 4th receivers. Okay, now I understand what you're saying. Is that the 4th? And I had something collapse in my room here. Sorry about that. I get what you're saying now. 4th receiver would be rotational. I thought you said those 3 receivers would be rotational, but yeah, I get what you're saying. I agree with you. We get a lot of talent, deep talent, wide receivers. One of the deepest wide receiver rooms in the league. So we're in number 6. I got Stephon Diggs, number 6. He's probably 2nd or 3rd most targets on this list, but for a good reason. I always used to say Thielen and Diggs, all they do is get open. They're always open. It's just amazing route runner, great hands. I think Thielen had a little better hands than Diggs did, but I think Diggs had a little more speed, a little more aggressiveness, a little more open field running than, let's say, Thielen did. But they're both equally. They were such identical clones of each other. Diggs is a little bit younger, and that's why. And honestly, Thielen was the guy that wasn't injury prone, and Diggs was early in his career, but he's consistently been available. And I just the top guy. Any wide. He's a number 1 on any team. He's just an amazing player.
Yeah, for sure, man. I gotta agree. I was glad at the end of the whole thing. I was glad he was leaving because he was just acting like a prima donna. Because if you think about the reason he was mad, he was right. Like, quit handing the ball off so much. Like, you have me and Thielen on the field, man. Throw us the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I can see a reason to being frustrated when you know you're elite as he is, Just imagine Justin Jefferson being on the team right now, how he is, but yet Zimmer's the head coach and we just keep handing off the ball. He would feel the same way. At the end of the day, when you know you're good and you're not getting your opportunities, you're going to get frustrated. I don't care who you are, especially when this is how you feed your family.
Well, one of the things about Diggs is that although, I think it was about the offense. about Zimmer and his control over the offense and
Yeah.
them not throwing the ball enough. And it wasn't had to do with any of the players or being a Minnesota Viking. What sucks is that he didn't stay a Viking, but we wouldn't have Justin Jefferson, so I'm happy with it with the way it turned out.
Right.
But there was always much to do. Like he didn't like Cousins or whatever. When you saw him in the Pro Bowl with Cousins and Jefferson, they were fine. I've never heard him say a bad word about Cousins. In fact, I was one of the guys that said, "Why are you complaining? You've had your best years with Cousins. You had 2 1,000-yard seasons. You had 900 the year before. He showed up. Well, what's the big deal?" And then he showed us why. Because when he went to Buffalo and had 1,500 yards, we saw what he was capable of.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, once he had Josh Allen and he was on a pass first offense,
and he was the only. He's the number one guy. He's the number one guy.
The number one guy for sure. But yeah, they damn sure turned up, man. But last year he dropped off bad.
Yeah, well, not too bad, but yeah, he had just as many targets and 300 less yards. So yeah.
Oh, I thought, but he didn't have as many touchdowns either, though, didn't he?
It was a down year from the year before, but it was more like when he played with the Vikings.
Okay, all right. Let's see.
1,200 yards. I forget how many TDs.
Oh, okay. So he still had a decent. I just felt like he was quiet, like real quiet.
They had a better year though.
So my number 6 is Deebo Samuel. Like everything you said, Deebo Samuel, man, just an all-around good player. Could play running back, whatever. Like why not have a guy like that on your team? I wish we could have him on our team too, but as fans, man, we want everybody that's good. But we have our guy, JJ and Thielen, but Deebo Samuel, man, got to give him his respect. I mean, when I watched the playoffs last year, it was like watching Deebo Samuel just beat the Cowboys, and then he beat the Packers pretty much. Like, he was the reason. Like, there was a third down where they needed the yards, and he made it happen, giving them the extra effort. I mean, this guy's just – he liked that for real. So, yeah, I love Deebo Samuel. I should have put him up higher. I was kind of like, damn, should I put him over Terry, man? But I'm telling you, Terry's the type of receiver, though. Like, you got to go wide because he's a true receiver. Deebo's hard because he's not as good of a receiver as he is just being able to run on swings and he's like a good running back, really like a punt returner type style. Like, but when it comes to if you were to just line Deebo up on the edges the whole game and don't give him any handoffs or anything like that for the whole season, I really don't think he probably wouldn't even make the list. I'm gonna just be honest with you, but how they use him good though. So
I agree with knowledge here. Luckily, it worked out. JJ is the best wide receiver in the league, despite the run first coach. I have number 2, but I did say I could easily see him as number 1. He just doesn't have his advanced skills in just adjusting the ball and catching over people like Devontae Adams. But yeah, I'm with knowledge on that.
Yeah, I got him at number 2 as well. So
number 7 is my curveball. I noticed you didn't say we were going to do a tight end list. So there is a player that does. So I brought in Travis Kelce.
Oh, Travis Kelce
as a receiver, a ball catcher. I just think he's another guy that you just can't not double team this dude. He's going to catch the ball. He's going to get 100 yards. He's going to get 10 catches. He's going to get a touchdown every game. It just seems he's just, obviously he doesn't do that. He's a tight end, but if, he was the number 1 receiver and they had Tyreek Hill. He's the number 1 guy on the team and they had Tyreek Hill. He just gets open. He's a smart player. Run after the catch, hard to get down. Catches in traffic, touchdown machine. Travis Kelce, number 7, wide receiver. Yeah. Even though he's a tight end, and I'm only doing it because we don't have a tight end list.
Yeah, I know we don't have a tight end list. All right, my number 7, DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf's just He's big. He's like that big wide receiver, big body. You can throw down the field, run the flies with him. You can run over the middle with him. I mean, you can have him run over through the middle with the slants and stuff like that. I mean, he deserves to be on the top 10 list. DK Metcalf. I think last year he fell off a little bit, but I think the Seahawks just fell off as a whole. I just think their locker room was just all disoriented with the coach and everything going on. There's just a lot of distractions going around DK, but he still did his thing, man. He's the best player on the Seahawks now, hands down. So this is pretty much going to be his team this year. Hopefully Drew Lock can throw him the ball this year, but I still think he's going to be okay. You know, I think when you got somebody like DK, he's going to save Drew Lock. He might actually get Drew Lock another opportunity to be a backup at least on a team for the simple fact that he's on the team. And if he stays healthy, he'll make Drew Lock look better than he is in certain games, I'm sure. So, yeah, DK Metcalf, man, number 7.
Number 8 for me, DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
He had a down year, 800 some yards, whatever. He had an amazing year the year before. He came up, just blew up on the scene. He was what I felt about Deebo Samuel. I just thought he was like scary and just dominant on the field. Last year, not so much, but he's still young. He came in this league with a 40.5-inch vertical, a 4.31 40, and he's a huge individual and strong as hell. And he's still that player. And one of the things is now he's like going to be the biggest option and the only offense for this team. I just think, yeah, he's gonna have a good year this year, but I think he's a huge trade candidate for these guys, and he might go to a really good team. But individually, as talented as he is, I did go by my year one. He did it one really good year, and the next one wasn't. And that's why I don't have him maybe higher on this list. But yeah, DK Metcalf, scary individual. He can moss anybody. He's of all the players on this team, on this list, he's the moss guy. He'll moss people.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he will. I don't know, man. You gotta look at Terry McLaurin though. Terry McLaurin moss it too.
I didn't look a whole lot. I don't. Maybe I missed something there. I'll go do some video.
You gotta go watch him before you start releasing videos on who the best wide receivers are, man. You can't be leaving people out like Scary Terry, man. I'm telling you. All right, let me see. So we are number 8. My number 8 is Stephon Diggs, man. Stephon Diggs is down the list. Yes, he's down the list. Part of it is because, the way he just left the Vikings, man. The way he went about it. The way he went about it. You know what I mean? And then, Dave was saying that he didn't have that bad of a year last year, but I know the year before last, he was really on another level. So then last year, it just seemed like it was quiet. I didn't hear too much. The media wasn't talking too much about him. It just seemed like they had another guy that was ascending. I forget his name. He's number 13 though on their team, and they're saying that this guy is a beast. And it was because the game I watched, he had like 3 touchdowns, and he was just doing his thing. So now they have 2 real solid wide receivers. But yeah, man, I still had to put him on the list though, man. It's Stephon Diggs, Minnesota Miracle. You at least gonna make my list, Diggs. You're just not gonna be at the top like you should. Now, happen you have been in purple still, you would have been up there, man. At least number 4, I would say, man.
And he's another example why Zimmer just made bad decisions as a coach, because this dude didn't dress for the first 2 games of his career, and he broke out for 100 yards, and then he ends up after a couple of games he gets hurt, and he's the reason Thielen was able to come out. Break out for 100 yards, and that's what brought the Diggs and Thielen show, is because Charles Johnson, I think, got hurt too, so he ended up Thielen, Diggs, these are the guys. It's a
shame. It's a shame that injury has to happen.
Johnson got hurt. That's what made Diggs. Diggs got hurt. That's what made Thielen. Yeah. So
yeah, it's a shame an injury has to happen for.
And he's one of the reasons why I think what's his name from Michigan State, wide receiver, rookie, 6th-round pick,
Jalen Nailor.
He has a similar college history as Diggs. Although Diggs was like a all-conference kick returner his freshman year, started getting injuries, rough go in college. We drafted number 5. That's why I feel about Jalen Naylor. Had injuries throughout his career. Senior year breaks his hand. Last 4 games of the season. Still had great numbers for the games he played, and that's why I say like a Jalen Naylor. We picked him in the 6th round. He's not. I don't think he's as good as Diggs, but he's a step below, and that's why I think like I forget who was saying when Dwayne was saying that the bottom 4 guys, the 4th receiver is going to be a rotation. Jalen Naylor is going to be part of that.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, appreciate you, James, too, man. I'm just not seeing that comment. He said he in the store with his family and he watching, man. Appreciate you for sure, man. You always tapped in.
Thanks.
You always tapped
Spread
in,
the word.
man.
Make sure you go over and subscribe to Minnesota Sports Talk. I'm at 296, which happens to be Adrian Peterson's record rushing yardage of 296. So I need you guys to come over and get me to 300.
Yeah, man.
Hand me the ball one more time so I get that 4 yards to 300 against San Diego.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Let's see. So we on 9, right? My number 9 is Mike Evans.
You skipped me. Yeah, go ahead. So Mike Evans, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, you said Mike Evans. Go ahead. I'll say 9 and then I'll go 10.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Mike Evans is my number 9. I mean, shit, Mike. So now we added another play on the list that beat Mossing people because it was DJ Metcalf. I think Mike Evans beat Mossing people too, man. Mike Evans was good even when he didn't have Tom Brady, man. He just was somebody who always found his way to be in the conversation as one of the best wide receivers in the league. There's a player there's a player that's a wide receiver that should be on this list, man, and it's crazy. I'm gonna wait to the end to see, just in case Dave don't have him on there. But yeah, man, there's a player that I'm thinking about now, and I'm just like, yo, it blows my mind that he might not be on mine. He's definitely not on my list, and he might not be on Dave's. But yeah, man, Mike Evans is my number 9. Like I said, just great all around player, tall guy. Can moss people, man. Only thing is, man, he threw away Tom Brady's ball, but hey, that kid was lucky, man. Tom Brady paid him for the ball, gave him Bitcoin. I mean, dang,
gave him Bitcoin.
Why couldn't that be me sitting right there? You know what I mean? Getting that ball. God,
well, now that Bitcoin's like worth half as much.
It was funny, man. Evans just was like, here you go, man. You can have the 500th pass. What was it? Was it like the 500th touchdown or something like that? He was like, here you go, man. You can have it. You can have it, fam, man. Here you go. It's no big deal. It's just a football.
Well, and then he ended up, I forget, there was somebody that was it Tom Brady's final touchdown pass, and then he came out of retirement or something like that. It's like, well, I forget what that was, but something like that happened. And
something like that did happen.
All went like down.
And Tom Brady gave him something though, I think too. Yeah. He found that guy too.
So my number 9 was Tyreek Hill, and although I said he was probably the number 2 choice on Kansas City, I just think he's a threat at all times. I don't think he gets a lot of touchdowns. You mentioned Evans. I did not have him on my top 10. I wanted to. He's probably 11 for me. He's an honorable mention. He could easily be in the top 10 because of touchdowns, especially. But I just felt like he would disappear in games. That's the only reason I didn't put him on top 10. And then he would have like some 200-yard, 3-touchdown game. But where did he go the next week? And I think it had a lot to do with I think teams schemed against him because he's not a burner.
Right.
Evans wasn't a burner, but God, would I love him in the red zone. And I think he draws double coverage and stuff like that. So I think he's a great guy to have on your team. Just outside the top 10 for me. I got to. I always drafted him in fantasy, and oh God, he'd piss me off when he would have one of those down weeks. And so maybe it's rubs me the wrong way a little bit.
Yeah,
I put Tyreek Hill because he was good when Mahomes would throw off script and scramble, and Tyreek Hill would go to the open spot. Mahomes would find him. He was really good with that. He has a knack for that. He's not a big red zone threat. I I would have had him maybe earlier, but because of that, he's not going to be a touchdown guy, and the fact that Kelsey was number one I think as the number one option, and Tyreek Hill was a second option on his team. But he's going to the Dolphins. We'll see what happens. He might be the number one option on the Dolphins. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Shout out Kansas City, man. That's where I was for the week. I wasn't there for good reason though. My wife's father passed away, man. He was a diehard Chiefs fan though, and I told him while he was there, man, man, the Chiefs are gonna be in the Super Bowl. I couldn't give him the win though, man. It was hard for me to give him the win, even though the circumstance. I know he's laughing at me right now, man. Look, you're gonna be playing the Vikings in the Super Bowl, but I don't know if you're gonna win, all right? Because I think the purple gonna win, but we'll see, man. Hopefully the Chiefs make it though, again without Tyreek Hill, which I think they will. Who'd they pick? They picked up like what's the kid's name? Is it Ross or something? I think there's like a guy that they're real hyped on was from Clemson or something. Justin Ross, I think. They brought somebody in that's supposed to be like, oh, plug and play type of deal where it's like that's why we're not too worried about Tyreek. Like we already have his replacement. And I think Hardman's kind of like the same type of player anyway that they already have. Okay. Yeah. All right, so let's see. All right, so let me do my or you want me to do it? Yeah, I'll just do my number. It don't matter, and then you can do your number 10. All right, so my number 10 is Jamar Chase. All right.
Oh gosh.
Okay. Yeah. I got Jamar. Only reason why I got Jamar at 10, which he could be higher. You know what I mean? Like how you had him. You had him at what, number 4 or number 5?
Yeah, I think he's that good.
Yeah, he is that. I mean, I believe he is that good. I ain't gonna lie, but I mean, I know during the preseason he was like dropping a lot of passes, but that don't matter because he like came back and just
he may
y'all.
He may have been like the best wide receiver the second half of the season.
Yeah, for sure. He was, man. I mean, he was electric. I mean, he was unstoppable, like for real. And I think him and Joe Burrow, man, for the next 10 to 15 years are gonna be like just terrorizing the NFL.
It kind of scares me because Justin Jefferson might be, negotiating his way out, starting next year, and where would be a nice fit.
Yeah, but what it is they wouldn't be able to afford both of them. That's the thing.
With the pay, but
because Jamar's gonna be a player that's gonna obviously get a big payday, and so is JJ. So they're not going to be able to play with each other unless it's further in their careers where they're both kind of,
maybe Burrow marries a top model who makes more than him, where he can take $20 million a year.
He might. To be real, like some players are like that. Like that's how Tom Brady was. He's
like, almost marry someone richer than me.
Yeah, I don't care about the money, man. Bring JJ here. Matter of fact, give him $20 million off of my salary, just so us three can reunite, man, and run this thing back. That would be crazy. Yeah, but yeah, man, I had to put him number 10, man. I had to at least put him on the list. It was hard to keep him off of the list, but.
Now this one was hard for me to drop him down this far, and it was DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh, okay.
Dude only had 500 yards receiving, like 530 or something like receiving yards last year. Yeah. Talent's still there. He's 29. I think 28 or 29, and he's just got all the skills. He's the closest thing to he's Devontae Adams light.
Yeah.
Great hands, great body control. Just great player. He kind of surprised a lot of people when he came to the league, I think. But he can do it again. He's got a good quarterback who I ranked one spot behind Kirk Cousins.
Let's not get into this again. All right.
But DeAndre Hopkins, number 10.
Yeah.
And I have Evans, CeeDee Lamb, probably outside looking in. But who is the one guy
the one guy that's crazy, man, that would be on majority of people's lists is Michael Thomas, man. Like, it's crazy. It's like, yo, this guy went from 2 years ago being the best wide receiver in the NFL. I mean, just that dominant me or you didn't have him on the list. And I was tempted to put him at number 10. But I just feel like going into this year, it's going to be a lot different, man. I'm telling you, Washington with, Carson Wentz can sling the ball downfield, and he hit Terry McLaurin is going to definitely have a successful season. He's already been having successful seasons with Heineke or whatever, but he's gonna take another step, man. That
The
guy
crazy
there
thing
is
about
serious.
Carson Wentz is that he had a hell of a touchdown to interception ratio, and he came in this league as like one of those mobile quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
So what would he have here? 27 TDs. I want to 27 TDs. Let me find his stats. And how many interceptions? 7. So he was 27 and 7. Not bad, 3,500 yards.
Yeah, it was kind of shocking that the Colts got rid of him. Like, I mean,
I guess that playoff game he played so bad that
well, it wasn't a playoff game. It was the game against the Jaguars that
it wasn't play. Yeah, it was the game he had to win to get in the playoffs.
Yeah, and it was against the Jaguars. The Jaguars.
Yeah. So yeah,
like as good as the Colts were. I mean, that sounds. You know what?
Of now.
That sounds like some. That sounds like some real Vikings type of shit right there. That only. I thought that only happened. Stuff like that only happens to us. But obviously, it don't.
That's the history of now. Oh yeah. I forget what year it was. I think I was living in Orlando at the time, but we played. We had a weak schedule. We played 3 teams that won 3 games that year.
Yeah.
The Vikings lost to all 3 of them. The Vikings were one of their wins, and the last game of the season we're playing the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And we pass in the end zone. We push the guy out. He lands out of bounds, doesn't get a foot in, touchdown. And it's because there was a push out rule back then. If they determined that you would have went and landed in bounds, you would have scored a touchdown. But we pushed him out before he landed on the ground. After that season, they changed the rule that you still have to get 2 feet in bounds, which is an awesome rule. But it happened the year after. That's just happened. That happens all the time to the Vikings, where they change the rule after something shitty happens to us. Just like in 2009, where they changed the rule that both teams get the ball, or no, you can score a touchdown and you win, but if you kick a field goal, the other team gets an opportunity. That was changed from 2009 to 2010 because we ended up losing on a pass interference call, and they get in field goal range, and on a 4th down play, I think, or 3rd down play or whatever, and they end up kicking a field goal to win the game. So yeah.
Then they talk about changing the rules again because of how the Bills and Chiefs game went last year. I know they were. I don't see how they would change it though, because they stopped them. They let them. They held them to a field goal, and then the Chiefs came down and scored a touchdown. Like, I didn't understand how are you going to change that?
I'm honestly fine with what the playoff is. I just wish the regular season they put it back to 15 minutes to the 10 minutes. I don't want ties. I think it's stupid.
Oh yeah, like the tie. Yeah, I don't think there should be ties. Yeah, this ain't soccer. Yeah, no, this ain't soccer. You either gonna win or you gonna lose. Like, we don't need no ties, man. These are grown men out there punishing each other. Man, it's either you walk out of there with a. Could you imagine being a grown man? You gave all your sweat and tears out there, and you walk out there with a tie. You know, as a fan,
it's like kissing your co-host.
Yeah, as a fan, man, it made me feel like a fucking. It made me feel like. I'm like, yo, when we tied the Packers and I had to go back into work and talk about it, I'm like, yeah, we tied. Like, I mean, that's almost worse than a loss. It really is, man. To me, I feel like the tie felt worse than the loss. I'm like, yeah, we tied. Like, come on, man. You either win or you lose, man. They need to change that. You know what I mean? Like, for real. They need to change that. You know, they can do like after 3 overtimes, then they can go back to the old thing where it's like, all right, first field goal wins. You know what I mean? Like, let's just get this over with. Maybe, I mean, that's
3 possessions or something like that. 3 overtimes is crazy. That'd be like a
but nobody would ever get there. That's the whole point. There would never be a tie. You know what I'm saying?
I could see something like both possessions and sudden death, but
or do something like the USFL where they like, hey, you start at the 8-yard line or whatever, and you go,
Well, the college is the 25, and you get a timeout.
Yeah, something like that. They can do something like that. You know
after 2 tries, they have to go for 2 or something like that.
Yeah, like do something like that to where for a fact there's not going to be a tie.
I don't mind the college way they do it, but I think for the NFL, I think it serves its purpose. And I think you can have 2 different rules in the playoffs, which they did. they had two different rules in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because there's no time limit because they need a victory, right?
Right. How about what he talking about? Eli said I can't believe how bad Carlson was that game. I don't know what game with Carlson.
Are you
Oh,
talking
he's
about
talking about the Packers. Yeah.
Packers game?
He's
I
talking about
think you were
that
talking
kicking,
about the
where he missed freaking 4 field goals? I think he missed 4,
yeah,
3 or 4.
and word came out that Zimmer wanted him gone.
Yeah, we
and
got rid of him, and now he's the best, one of the best kickers in the league now.
And I think it turns out that was his. Yeah, he might be the best kicker in the league right now.
Yeah,
and
that's crazy.
And we used a 5th round pick for him. Round pick for him.
Well, see, it was easy. It's easy to see that coaching plays a big. It's funny last year when Greg Joseph was like, when he did miss those certain kicks that lost us the game, and the reporters were pounding Mike Zimmer about it, and he was trying to hold back so much, man. Like, you can just see it was killing him to say no. He's still on the team. We're not cutting him, like, because we know the history. You know what I mean? And that's why we could never develop a good kicker, man, because these kickers feel like they got too much pressure coming from Mike Zimmer, man, but now I think Greg Joseph is going to explode, man. I think Greg Joseph is going to be that guy. I'm glad we got him. I keep saying that, man. He's going to be.
He is pretty good from long range, 50 yards. But one of the things about that Carlson thing is Ryan Longwell, who was a Viking, and he was a pretty good one for us after being a Packer. He was calling in to Minnesota offering his advice because he said he saw something that was some fundamental issue that Carlson was having that would be easily fixed. And he said, I'd be willing to come in and work with them. And they ignored Ryan Longwell, who's probably one of the best kickers. He may not get in the Hall of Fame because not many kickers do, but he was one of the best.
What's up, Ed, man? Appreciate you, Ed, for tapping in tonight, man. Appreciate you.
That's the kind of shit that went on with our coaching. They didn't want to hear anything else.
Yeah. So, I mean, all right, chat. So let's ask this, man. While I was out of town, you know what I mean? News was coming on. I seen it. I logged on to the YouTube, man, and just the Vikings world, man, Twitter and all that. And I see that Ndamukong Suh, right? I hate saying his name. Ndamukong Suh, he showed, I guess there's interest that we're interested in him or the Raiders. It's going to be either the Vikings or the Raiders. Pretty much those are the only two teams that I really seen in the conversation, as much articles I read. So, I mean, I'm asking the chat, right? How do y'all feel, man? And put a Y in the chat for yes and in the chat for no, man. Do y'all want him or do y'all not want him? And in the meantime, while y'all dropping what y'all think, man, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I mean, I would take him, right? So I'm a Y, right? I'm dropping a Y in the chat, man. I'm gonna participate with y'all, man. I'm dropping a Y in the chat, and the reason is this: because you can never have enough beef eaters in there, man. And I mean, yeah, he might be at the end of his career, but I mean, shit, for 1 year, it just gives me Super Bowl team vibes when you bring in these veterans to just, because he was a dirty player. Don't get me wrong. He had his years when he was on the Lions and stuff where people just hated him because the way he played, his attitude. But he's matured since then, man. You watch him, what he did with the Bucks. I mean, this guy has come around. He's grown as a person. I wouldn't mind having him. He's been through the rough, and he can teach young players, if they get sidetracked, he can bring them back on board. So, man, I'm man. I don't mind as long as the money's right. You know what I mean? Obviously he ain't getting no big payday, but why not? You know what I mean? And we wouldn't do nothing but help. I don't think he would hurt us at all. So
I don't know. I don't know what we'd pay him, but we'd probably have to, because I think we're still signing some rookies and we want to have room if we have to bring anybody during the season. Yeah. And it always seems to be like that $10 million mark. Well, we're under that right now. Right. So we're probably going to think about, we could wait to adjust the contract later, but then we're talking about we've already eaten into their contract, so we have less money to move around. So I would think that they probably would have to adjust somebody's contract to get him. I don't see anything less than. Do you see anything less than $5 million?
No, I was gonna say I see about $6 million. Yeah.
I don't see. I don't
but,
see.
But then again, Dave, I don't know, man. I think he might take. I think he can take. I think we can get away with like 4 too. Honestly, between 4 and
It
6.
depends on how late we get him and how much he's willing to pay for or play for that. Because are you gonna? Is it worth it to go out there for another year, having to be that heavy all the time and to put your body through it? I mean, but
this is going to be about his character. Then this is going to be whether he loves the game of football. Does he just want to play for a team that has a chance, or does he just want looking for a paycheck? And I mean, the two
I think
teams
he's looking for a winner.
Exactly.
I think that's why we got that over.
And
I think that's why we have the Raiders.
Yeah, he looks at the Raiders like this.
In easier path to a Super Bowl too. I mean, NFC.
Exactly.
But as far as he had 6 sacks his Super Bowl year. He had 6 sacks last year. He did drop in like tackles, not as big, not as important to me. In the type of situation he's going to be playing in.
Yeah. What about his pressures? What's his pressures look like?
I don't know. Footballreference.com.
Yeah, because I mean, like when I look at defensive
7 tackles for loss. He had 9 tackles 2 years ago out of 44 of them. 9 of them were for loss. Last year was 27. He had 7 of them for loss. So not a huge drop off there.
Not at
QB hits 13. He gets to the quarterback. So 13 QB hits is a big deal.
That's a really big deal, and that's why I asked for the pressures.
And that doesn't even count the pressures, right?
Exactly.
So
that's counted as a
pretty good year.
Yeah, I mean, hitting the quarterback is still, it's considered a pressure, but there's also a different stat. Yeah, QB pressures, meaning he's throwing a hand in the face. I mean, he's just getting it, and we need things like that when we're going against Aaron Rodgers twice a year. I mean, things like that are going to be, we need that. We really do, because I feel like we were lacking pressure from our DT position for the past couple of years.
Even though it was earlier in his career, before he was 30, he had 5 All-Pro seasons.
Yeah.
He had Rookie of the Year. He was All-Pro that year.
Yeah.
Pro Bowl 5 times. So, but he's been more of a, but he's still been very effective at Miami, the Rams for a year. And
what's good, Adam?
In fact, his last 2 years were better than a couple years before it. So he's still a very good player. And I think in a rotation, like I think he said, I read that he played 60% of the snaps last year.
Yeah,
that sounds, even if he played 50 for us, I think he would be the best defensive tackle on our team.
Yeah,
in the game.
I mean, honestly, like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't see it. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer to me. Now, yeah, the contract has to be no higher than 6, though. I mean, no higher than 6. I mean, I really don't want to go 6, but I mean, that's reasonable for a player like him.
And that defensive tackle, the guy that we would lose would not be someone we'd be missing too much.
Exactly.
I think. And so, yeah. And you can keep 16 players, 8 of them veterans on your practice squad.
And the way, and that's what I'm saying, like, and us bringing him on, like Quesse just sitting there brainstorming, bringing a player like that on gives you Super Bowl building vibes.
He won a Super Bowl.
That's what teams that win the Super Bowl, like the Rams, and that's the trend. Guys are not where, like, these teams are doing. It's going to start trending to what the Rams are doing. They're like, listen, if a good player comes available, we're signing them. I don't care. If we got to make money, we're going to make money. Like, it's about winning right now. We're not looking at these long-term deals. We want players that can come in, play for a year, get us this ring. Like, we're trying to win. And that's what the Rams are doing. You know what I mean? They're just
the type of player that can put you, like, just, he can give you that edge.
Yeah.
And I don't care. This whole thing about I don't want him because he was a lion and he was dirty. And I see that on Twitter. I see the Facebook.
People change, man.
I'm like we don't. And the same thing about the coaches. Well, I don't want him because he was with the Bears and with the Packers. I'm like, dude, if he's a good coach, let's whatever, man.
Yeah,
let's do it. I mean, I think Bud Grant was a Packer, Burns was a Packer. And he was our head coach. Like, we didn't want Burns back in the day, but and I always want to remind you gotta watch that Burns rant. Jerry Burns rant. Did you ever check that out? I remember when I first met you, I suggested you should see that we should do a live reaction video of you watching Jerry Burns going off it was even after a win where he's dropping F-bombs and stuff. You might have to bleep some stuff out, but it's a funny as hell. I'm gonna find it and send it to you. You're gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I want him to come to the purple, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think this day and age, a veteran as quality as him, you know, there's a reason why he stayed 3 years with Tampa and didn't get rid of him.
Did they say, I mean, what are the Raiders? Are you following like anything that's happening with them? Like, are the
not
Raiders?
since they came out before I went to Orlando this weekend. I did a video saying, what do you guys think about, signing him short? But yeah, it's still one of those things. I think people are waiting to see what happens, what they're gonna be like, any more releases, things like that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one of those right before camp signings, I think.
Adam say he wants to, man. Adam Dub, my boy, man. Hey,
So there's
Adam, my
another
dog,
player,
man. That's my dog right here. He said he wants Sue. That's a fact. I mean, we got to get him. You know what I'm saying?
There's another player out there that wants to play for us that we have a very weak room of depth. So who do you think that is?
There's another player that wants.
There's another player who wants to play the Vikings.
Yeah,
that was a very good player.
Uh-huh.
He was a Viking, and he wants to return to us.
Oh yeah, Kyle Rudolph. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you gave it away once you said return. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I seen that, but I don't think they're gonna bring him back. And this is why, because of the way he left too. You know what I mean? He left kind of bitter too. You know, it's like I've said before, that's my wife's favorite player. My wife loves Kyle Rudolph just because of the things he does for the kids hospital and stuff like that. Just the community. Like, he's a really good guy. You know what I mean? He really is. But the way he left, writing a letter, not mentioning certain people, I mean, yeah, you could tell he kind of was feeling some type of way, which is okay. You can feel some type of way. You're entitled to feel how you want to feel, and you shouldn't be judged by it. But unfortunately, when you're in the NFL, you know, you're a big name, you are going to be under a microscope. I don't care. When you're somebody like Kyle Rudolph, people are going to read your letter and they're going to say, oh, he didn't say this, he didn't say that, he didn't say this, and they're going to hold it against you. And now with the way the building is trying to run now, with all this collaboration, everybody on the same wavelength, that letter you wrote, Kyle, probably is going to cost you coming back to Minnesota. I'm sorry, it is. You know what I mean? It just is. So I don't
remember his letter as much, but I remember his interview on the sideline of
that too. Yeah, that interview too.
He said Daniel Jones was the best quarterback he's ever played with.
Right.
I think, honestly, I think that had more to do with trying to build him up than to tear someone else down. But
I mean, they look at things like that though.
But he recently was said that me and Cousins have no ill will with each other, and I don't think Cousins would hold a grudge. But I think the key would be is saying, hey, we need another body in here, and if Cousins says, hey, go out and get him if he's willing, and then if we says if he's willing to play for the league minimum,
Nah, man, I like this what Dub saying. I'm with Dub on this, man. Ebron, you know. I like that better. You know what I mean? Like, I'm to the point like this. Let's not go backwards. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong.
Cousins, he said that to me.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, man. I love Kyle Rudolph as a player, man. He was a great player. Gave me good memories as being a Vikings fan, watching him with them sure hands, catching that ball, man. When he goes up with them white gloves, when he rocking the white gloves, it's over with. Trust me, when my boy come out there in them white gloves, you better be ready, because my boy been the act. But you want to talk about the slowest fucking tight end in the league? That's one thing I didn't like about God. I mean, when he caught the ball, I mean, I'm trying to run for him, man. I'm like,
in college,
I'm like, yo, you got to get faster, man. I cannot watch this guy catch the ball in the open field. I mean, literally. But I mean, I'm with Dub though, man. Let's bring in Ebron. I like Ebron. He would be a good addition. Shouldn't cost that much, but he still kind of has a name for himself, so he might ask for too much money, because Ebron does still kind of have a name. You know, he's a household name, believe it or not, even though he didn't do the best last season, you know. But yeah, I'm with it. Let's bring some different.
Ebron had 84 receiving yards.
He didn't do nothing last year. Yeah, but if you look at his career stats, though, if you look at his career stats, he had a couple years where he was, a household name.
Yeah.
Though. Like,
Yeah, he made the Pro Bowl once with Indy.
yeah.
But
I mean, he's a veteran. He's a veteran, but he can, I heard he's supposed to be like a really good.
I think we need to bring in another
player.
tight end. And if
we
it's
definitely need a tight end though, for sure. Like we have to bring somebody in, and I don't care what it is. Like
and only because of insurance for Smith Jr. I don't think we're gonna go 2 tight end sets as much as we used to, but just to have that insurance, and I'm willing to take a root off and have him come to camp and compete. Or who knows? You run.
This freaking Kirk Cousins burner page is funny as hell. I can run without falling on like
Daniel Jones. Yeah,
man. Who is it?
Did
you hire this guy? Did you hire this guy?
He commented on my Rudolph video, my story.
I mean, he's your best buddy, man. He loves you, man. Come on, man. I think you hired.
I don't know if he's with me or mocking me. I can't tell yet. But either way, it's acceptable because as the more you comment, the more people comment.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for watching.
Hey, to be honest, man, technically, man, he might win the contest, man. Shit, he might win your contest.
Dude, keep commenting on my page, man. Keep commenting on my page.
He competing with me, man. I'm trying to win that money. Like
Dave the Goat. Thanks, man.
Dave the Goat. You got to show that, man.
The greatest South Dakotan of all time.
Yeah, man. Dave the Goat, man. I'm teaching them well, y'all. I'm teaching them well.
So you're no on Rudolph. You want someone better. But what if it came down to like we haven't, season's about to start. We haven't picked up anybody. We still got these tight ends we've never heard of.
Yeah, for sure.
and
or whatever.
We have Smith Jr. and then nobody.
Yeah, I think we got Elfelson or something like Effelson.
No, not Ellison. Ellison and what's his name?
I know we got Munt from
Munt, and we picked up that guy from Denver.
Which I mean, supposedly Kevin O'Connell is high on Munt though. Supposedly maybe he's seen something in practice and being around him last year where he thinks he's some kind of player.
I think he's better than that guy we got from the subdivision.
But Munt has like 1 catch for his career or something, like 2 catches maybe. Like, I mean, come on, bro. What do you see? But never know though, man. Hey, you know what's crazy is everybody felt this same way about Travis Kelce, right? Travis Kelce, nobody thought he was nothing, bro. This man came out of nowhere. Yeah, you cannot doubt these. You can't doubt these tight ends, man. Just look at our situation last year when Tyler had to step in. I mean, Tyler was a lot better than a lot of people thought, you know what I'm saying, when he had to really play a full year. So, I mean, hey, Conklin, I'm happy for Conklin, man. That's one player I am happy for.
He got paid.
I love Tyler Conklin, man. Tyler Conklin, man, stepped in, never caused any issues. It was his time to shine. He went in there, did his thing, and earned himself a paycheck, man. And I couldn't be more happier for that man. And I just couldn't be, man. I love Tyler Conklin, man. I'm gonna be rooting for him for sure. I'm saying too bad he's playing with Zach Wilson now. That doesn't seem like he's big on throwing to the tight end as much as Kirk Cousins, but Kirk Cousins loves his tight ends. That's why we have to.
I don't know if you've seen like Zach Wilson put on like 15-20 pounds or something this offseason. Looks like
Zach Wilson, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, he chunky now? No, because he was a little bony kid anyway. So
yeah, like him and another quarterback put on a lot of muscle in the offseason. I can't remember the other guy.
They're saying I read an article. Remember when this draft started, Dave? And I told you, because I mean, this is not talking about Zach Wilson because he came in. Obviously, he didn't come in this draft. But remember this draft, and I was telling you, I said, who's the best quarterback in this draft that can come in right away? Desmond Ridder, man, that was my guy from the beginning. That was my guy.
I don't think we met each other yet because I was Ridder too.
Yeah, and they're saying now coming out of Atlanta camp, because I tend to wander around podcasts, man, just to see the competition, as well as I'm just into football, other teams too, and their fan bases. So I just tend to, I don't sit there too long, but I poke around. And coming out of Atlanta, a lot of their content creators are saying, man, hey, This guy is like blowing Mariota out the water. Like he really is. Like they're saying like he's that many steps ahead of everybody else. And I knew it, bro. Like I knew it. I'm like, watch, Desmond Ridder is going to make the NFL pay, bro. I'm telling you, he's going to make every team other than Atlanta pay.
So a while ago, I did a video, or was I still a podcast at the time? I don't know if it was a video yet, but I think it was just a podcast. I hadn't done YouTube yet, and I did quarterbacks, and I had Ridder as my number one guy.
Yeah.
And I said he's Kellen Mond, but better. Like he was better at everything than Kellen Mond was, and I think and I did go a little bit down on him when I heard his Wonderlic score was like below 20, and I think that means something, and that's your intelligence basically. It's an intelligence test, and it really means a lot that you're able to, because it's timed, and you have to read information and be able to figure it out like really quickly. Yeah. And there are guys that are able to do that. Like Cousins is above average. He was like 33 out of 50. Right. And like if you're below 20, you're starting to get into like, if you're like you're starting to get into the cook, man. You're starting to get into the team cook, man. Team cook. It's like if you're below 16, you're illiterate. And what's his name? Remember what's his name? It was the won the championship for Texas, and then got drafted by the Titans in the first round. Oh, Vince Young. He was a 7. Yeah, I love Vince Young though, man. Vince Young was he had all the physical talents, but he had a 7 Wonderlic score. I mean, they the Wonderlic score though, man. They definitely should look at it. It should mean something, but it shouldn't mean everything, because some people look at the top quarterbacks in this league, and they're better than 25. Whether so like most of the better quarterbacks, they always most of the better quarterbacks have higher Wonderlic scores. Yeah, there are some like outliers that were just physical gifted, like a like a Michael Vick, that overcame. I was gonna say, I think Adam's right though. I thought they did do away with the Wonderlic score this year though, because I know I seen a interview with Kwesi where they were saying something about it. They did it. They did them, and they got posted. And Ridder, Pickett was high. Guys that surprised me like Strong wasn't very high, and I was really high in him. I thought I was wanting to get him. I was wanting to draft him and develop him, but for the Vikings, late round. No, but then I didn't realize the count. Well, then I wasn't. Now I'm back to thinking we should have did it, because there's not very good reports coming out about Kellen Mond. No, not me though. You want to know why? I think next year, so this is my thing. This is my thing right now, right? I keep saying, I got us 10-7, but I always say in the back of the mind, this thing could blow up in our face. And this year's draft class coming in quarterbacks this is where we go for our guy. If it happens, if everything tends to just backfire on us, at least we know this draft right here, we can possibly get our guy, because there's going to be a lot of them in this year's draft. I mean, a lot of them to pick from. And they're going to be, all of them are mainly like the new style of quarterback. Mobile, can throw on the run, guys like that. None of these standing stiff in the pocket and thing, man. We about to get some mobile guys that can do it all, and change the offensive scheme. So, I mean, if it blows up in our face, and then if it don't blow up on our face, maybe somebody will fall in the later rounds, or maybe Kellen Mond just develop as the year goes. I think one thing's for sure. Obviously Kellen Mond's going to stay on the team, and even if he is third string throughout the season of being with Kevin O'Connell, I think Kevin O'Connell's the type of guy where he's not just going to ignore him. Like through the year, he's going to help him develop and get better. The areas he needs help, he's going to make sure he's doing things to get him there. I can see that, and that's what makes a great coach, man. I mean, Kevin O'Connell just seems like that type of fella, man. I don't know. He just does. Mike Zimmer doesn't, like, for real. He just seems like a guy that don't give a fuck about nothing but his defense. Like, he's like, yo, I don't care, but I'm still going to call the shots on the offense if it comes down to it. Like, if I see you passing too much, I'm going to tell you, no, run the ball. So we believe it or not, I just looked it up. We got 2 quarterbacks on our team that are in the top
Nate
20
Stanley.
all time.
Oh, I know him who should not be named is good.
Yeah, and Nate Stanley are 13 and 14, both scored a 40 out of 50.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, Nate Stanley obviously is somebody because I mean,
Alex Smith.
For him to be on the team,
Carson Wentz is number 9 all time with a 40.
Wow.
Well, so there's a tied for 40. Yeah, and then
I wonder, do they have it online? Do they have the Wonderlic? Do they have the Wonderlic test online that we can do?
Yeah, you can do one. I did one, got like a 30 something, like 32, 33 or something.
Well, bullshit. Look at you out here trying to act like you like top 10 in the league.
I did like 5 years ago, like 10 years ago.
Look at Dave trying to
top 10.
Look at Dave trying to act like he's
above
top
average.
10. Look Dave trying to act like he's top 10 in the league out here, man. Don't make me pull up a Wonderlic test. You know I can screen share.
I've taken graduate level. I had to get in there to get into grad school. I had to take a graduate level test.
Don't tempt me, Dave. You know I know how to screen share now. I'm gonna be done go to the Wonderlic. We're gonna do this thing live and direct.
All right, we'll do a live Wonderlic test and see who does better, huh? You do that?
Hey, look, I know I ain't gonna do good at. What kind of questions does it ask?
It's like
is it just like common sense like things, or is it more like, or is it a mixture? I guess it would be a mixture, right? Like just common. It's not like math and shit, is it? Or what?
There's some math. There's something. There's some like that. It's deductive reasoning. Like if this is this, then that's that. Yeah. Like here's which one of these doesn't belong, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so yeah, there's things like that in it.
All right, let me see. Hold on real quick.
You're not gonna do one. Hey everybody, you guys want to see MC Rap do a Wonderlic test live on air right now?
Nah, I'm not gonna do that.
The college I worked for, the undergraduate entrance exam was a Wonderlic score. They said if you didn't get above an 18, they wouldn't let you into the school. Or hold it, no, it was a 20, I think. Yeah, you had to score higher than a 20 to be admitted into the school. It was hard to get into.
Yeah.
But that was their entrance exam, is they had to do a Wonderlic score. Just like the NFL.
So let's see.
What are you doing?
We got
a lot of dead air. I only can fill like the air for
you gotta fill it up, man. You gotta fill up the air real quick, man. I'm looking at Wonderlic tests. Hold on real quick. Let me see. All right, it's that. Nah,
Matthew Stafford was a 38. Matthew Stafford 30. Colin Kaepernick 38.
What's up, Juked?
One of the best ones ever was where is he at? Fitzpatrick 48 out of 50. I mean, he's got 48 questions done, man.
Man, I'm sad, man. Fitzpatrick retired this year, man. I'm a boy, man. Yeah, like I wanted to bring him in as a back. Like he was being thrown around as like a lot of the fans on my page and stuff were like, you know, when I did the video on Sean Mannion and Kellen Mond, like a lot of people were like, yo, bring Fitz in, you know what I mean? Like bring Fitz in like as a backup for real. And I was on him and I was on Gardner Minshew. Because I feel like Gardner Minshew can win a couple games.
I would have liked Gardner Minshew. He's a guy. I think he's a guy you can put out there and he'll just throw it around. Same with Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
But man, I was just shocked how long Fitzpatrick actually played. I was watching a highlight of he played his second game of his career. He played against the Vikings. We beat them, but I follow this Facebook group or TikTok group that puts out like highlights of it was YouTube. Someone puts out old Viking games and it breaks them down into
you sent that. Yeah, you sent that to me. Yeah, you sent that to me, that guy. Yeah, that's a good channel for sure.
Yeah, I use that all the time. I just cut parts out of it and put it on TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But what else you got, man? We're
we can go through we're not dying. We can go through
your top 5 quarterbacks.
We can go to my top 5 quarterback list, man. So I know everybody on here tapped in and watched it. I just released it this morning. It's crazy, man. So all those 3 top 5s those top 5 videos I released, throughout the week, which I forgot to release the quarterback one. I actually shot 3 and edited 3 of them before I left to Kansas, and I was gonna hold y'all off as the supporters so that my page just isn't dead. And, you know, I worked hard that day and shot 3 videos and edited them. Man, I was like, let me do top 5s, and I forgot to release the quarterback one. I realized I woke up this morning like, oh wow, I got a video in my archives I didn't even release yet. So I just released it this morning, man, and I did something intentionally for Dave, man. I had to put Case Keenum on the list. I knew it would rub him.
Keenum.
He was. I know Dave was gritting his teeth like Kirk Cousins on the sideline after a strip fumble, man. You know what I mean? Like I knew
the first thing I said to you when I saw you was, I can't believe you put Casey Keenum. If you're gonna put a guy that played 1 year and had a good year, you'd probably put Brett Favre.
Yeah, Brett Favre. Yeah.
One of his best years of his career, in a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
The best years of his career in 2009. I would take that year over Case Keenum.
Yeah, but Brett Favre wouldn't you know, excited you as much, man. I knew Case Keenum would have been a little more exciting for you. That's why I did it. You know, Brett Favre, you would have just been like, oh yeah, good list. You know what I mean? Case Keenum, you're like,
down from a 3-hour Kirk Cousins-a-thon from the last show he did.
Oh yeah, we did, man. I mean, I went back and watched that show like when I was in Kansas because I had nothing to do. We were just chilling for a couple of days before everything was happening, and I'm like, yo, we literally went crazy. Like, I mean, literally back and forth for like an hour and 30 minutes of that show was about Case Keenum and Kirk Cousins and who's better. But it was fun though, man. We need shows like that every once in a while. You know.
So let's go through your list, and then
well, I almost forget my list, to be honest. Let me see here. Hold on. I think I got it in my notes actually. And honestly, y'all, I would have put Warren Moon on my list instead of Case Keenum, man. Like I told Dave, I did it for entertainment purposes, really. But I do like Case Keenum though. He would have been like one of my honorable mentions for sure. Let me see. So I had Fran Tarkenton. That, I mean, only because of what I heard about him, and like just everybody that talks about the Vikings mentions him. You know what I mean? So I had to put him on there. That's my guy. So you know what I mean? I had to put him on there, man, because he's just like the legend that I've never met, never seen, but he's a Vikings legend. And Dante Culpepper, this is personally my favorite quarterback of all time. This is my favorite Vikings quarterback of all time. So he would easily be number 1. If Fran didn't exist, Dante Culpepper would be my number 1. He was my favorite quarterback to watch as a Vikings fan. He brought me, he's one of the reasons I am a Vikings fan. So I had to put him number 2. Number 3 was Randall Cunningham, because I just felt like he started that mobile, run around, sling the ball, even though Dante kind of had that too, that improvised stuff. But Randall Cunningham was before him anyway. So yeah, Randall Cunningham just being who he was. Teddy Bridgewater, number 4. I just feel like Teddy Bridgewater, if he didn't get injured, he would have been a good guy, man. I just like Teddy Bridgewater. And this one was kind of sticky too. Like I just threw Teddy in there, to be honest, because I know he's a fan favorite. People love him, you know, even though he never had a big season or anything, just who he is. You know, we drafted him. We all had hype on him. And if he would have never got injured how he got injured, Teddy Bridgewater would still to this day be the Vikings quarterback. I strongly believe that. You know, I strongly believe he would have been the franchise quarterback if that injury didn't happen, man. That was a hard.
His hugest problem was his deep ball.
Yeah, he didn't throw it down the field.
No touch whatsoever on a deep ball.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, he's strong arm, but not that strong that he should be overthrowing people.
Yeah, I'm with you.
He didn't underthrow people, he overthrew him.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
He just had it was flat.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, man.
He didn't teardrop it.
He didn't, man. He had some things to work on, but I think by now though, he would have had those things corrected if he never had to worry about that injury, man. Coming back from that, he had to fight an uphill battle, man. You know, trying to just get on a team again.
Preseason when he got hurt, I remember the day that happened, man.
Man.
It hit me.
It did.
And Sam Bradford started off the season 5-0, man.
Yeah.
And I actually, that season, the season before when he wasn't hurt, I actually was in a fan club, and his biological dad, came in and watched the game with us. And he had one of the worst. He had 3 picks. He was horrible. He didn't get barely 150 yards or whatever. Horrible game. And it just happened to be sitting next to his dad.
Wow.
At a game here in Fort Lauderdale. But yeah, I was really big on Teddy Bridgewater. I thought it was a great draft pick. We went up and got him. I didn't think we had a hopes. There was talk about we were going to get what's his name from Texas A&M. Shit, I can't remember his name.
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went. And
What's
there was
up,
talk
Skol
about
Mafia,
there was people that liked him in Minnesota. There's guys that Vikings brass that liked Johnny Manziel, and we got the right guy. And unfortunately, with that freak injury, non-contact, just dropping back, almost loses.
I mean, they were in
crazy.
shorts. They were in shorts and helmets,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah, when the day that happened, I remember I was me and my wife had a small apartment that we just got. I'm laying down, man. We just were unpacking. I'm tired. I'm laying down. Click the TV on. This is when I used to watch TV because I don't watch TV as of now. But when I was laying down, and all I see is on the bottom, Minnesota Vikings quarterback Teddy Bridgewater suffers season-ending injury through a pretty much like just saying through a walk-through practice, pretty much. And I'm like, yo, are you shitting me right now? Like that. I mean, it ripped my heart out my chest. I'm like, what are we to do now? You know, like, I mean, I just figured the season was over. I mean, that was going to be his year to turn all the way up. And I mean, it is what it is, though. But I had to have him on there. And then I put Case Keenum at number 5, man. It is what it is. I mean, what's the big deal? Case Keenum, number 5. I mean, shit. We went to the NFC Championship.
You had Randall Cunningham, right? At 4?
Yeah, I had Randall Cunningham at 3.
3. Another one, you know, he started week 3 and then got benched the next year at like week 6.
Yeah.
I think so. That was
I really like Warren Moon.
He played really? He played that many games? 27 games? Game started, I don't know, he's 18-9.
Now my boy, man. Come on, ain't nothing wrong with being 18-9. He wins 2 out of 3 games.
I don't remember him playing that many games for us. That's crazy.
He's gonna win 2 out of 3.
I had to go look back and see how much he really played.
Yeah, Randall Cunningham, man, he's a beast. But I mean, Warren Moon was one that I felt bad leaving out because I really like Warren Moon. 2 seasons. 2 All right, but let's do this. Let's do it. Just go through your top 5 list off the top right now. I know you already know them by heart. So, what's your top 5 Vikings quarterbacks?
Well, I'm gonna go.
What's number 1?
I got a little nostalgia, so I went with Fran Tarkenton first, just because of historically. And second is more of a nostalgia for me because that was my youth.
Yeah,
and it was Tommy Kramer.
Okay.
He is one of those guys that was like pushing, getting over 4,000 yards when nobody was doing it.
Right.
And so we had like Anthony Carter. He was getting 20 yards a catch. As Tommy Kramer was touchdown Tommy. He was called Mr. 2 Minute. It's just he had it going on. He had a little bit of an alcoholic issue going on.
Right.
He's a big guy on Twitter right now, and he's a big Viking fan to this day. He's got a man cave where he's got a urinal with the Packers logo in it. So I am a big nostalgia fan for him. I'm going to go with Dante Culpepper also because he was the guy in my 20s. He was, I was living in Orlando, which was right next to UCF, and I got to watch all the games because they would have 2 big screens in the bars, and one would be the Vikings and one would be game of the week or whatever. And it's because the bar I went to was like a mile off of campus. And he at that time he set the college completion record, but he had one of the best seasons.
Did I ever before you continue, did I ever tell you I lived in Altamont Springs for a little while? I think I told you that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know you said you lived in.
Yeah, I stayed in Altamont Springs, man. Being that you're saying, UCF, because I partied on that campus plenty of times.
I went and played basketball and stuff with college kids and.
Yeah, just to throw that out there, man. Me and my boy Jason, man, we was out there. I actually lived with my grandmother lived in Titusville, which is about 45 minutes away. And I used to, my cousin lived in Altamont Springs, had an apartment, so I moved there with him. because Titusville was a no-go for me. That thing was boring. That ain't nothing but retired old people there. So I'm like, you know what? We got to turn this up a notch. So I moved to Altamont Springs, and then, we started going crazy at UCF. I mean, it was fun. But, continue, man. I love UCF, man. Golden Knights, man. Rock out.
And then going from there, it's either I'm going to choose a guy that like played for a couple seasons, or someone that has longevity. And right now, there's nobody on this list. Those three are the top longevity.
Go ahead, put your boy on there, man.
The fourth guy is Kirk Cousins.
All right,
because I mean, statistically, he's actually has a higher winning percentage than both Culpepper and Kramer. But I have those guys because they had like 2 or 3 extremely outstanding seasons,
and they were just more fun to watch, man. They really were.
And they were loved. They were loved when they were playing.
Hurts not loved.
Culpepper probably could have went on. He had a fumble problem. I'd knock him down for that. I probably would have put him at number 2, but I just know like the fumble problem. And I think Tommy Kramer was super clutch when he played. He was a guy that took us to 87 against San Fran. I mean, I think it was him. Then there's guys like, before I say number 5, there was like Wade Wilson, Brad Johnson, Warren Moon, Rich Gannon.
Somebody had Brad Johnson on their list.
Rich
Who had
Gannon.
Brad Johnson on their list? Hold on.
We had a quarterback room of Tommy Kramer, Wade Wilson, and Rich Gannon. And Rich Gannon was the third guy, and he eventually won 2 MVPs with the Raiders.
Ed had Brad Johnson number 1 on his list. Shit.
Brad Johnson number 1, okay. Brad Johnson didn't start in college. Didn't
he play for the Buccaneers? Was he a Buccaneer?
Yeah, he won a Super Bowl with the Buccaneers, man.
Okay, that's what I remember Brad Johnson from. Yeah, that's what I know Brad Johnson from.
So if I'm gonna pick a number 5 out of this list, I saw Warren Moon play, man. But if you think Viking, I'm gonna go with Brad Johnson, number 5, Minnesota Vikings. If you're gonna think Viking, I'm gonna go with Brad Johnson. Wade Wilson's there, Warren Moon, Rich Gannon, Randall Cunningham, Brett Favre. Yeah, but really one good season. Teddy didn't play enough. Casey Keenum is like 17th on this list, it looks like, that I'm looking at.
17th. Yeah, right.
Let me tell you, a game started. It's going down the list of games started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14th on game started.
Oh, he had Brad Johnson at 5, he said. Okay.
I'm putting Brad Johnson just 5 because he was a Viking from the start.
I thought Ed had Brad Johnson at number 1, but he said he had him at 5. Either way, though, I would have never thought to put him on my list. Either way, though, that's crazy.
He would have been the quarterback.
I gotta go back. I gotta go back and watch. I gotta go back and kind of watch what he was doing, man. I for some reason I'm having like a blank spot where I'm not.
Go watch him on TikTok. He's Big Bad Brad.
I mean, I'm talking about like Vikings highlight because I'm not remembering him. You said it was 98 season. He was
a starting quarterback at the beginning of the 98 season.
Okay, that's why that's why I didn't start watching the Vikings towards the middle and end of the 98 season. And I became a fan in 99. So that's
he got hurt and Randall Cunningham took over, and that's why.
Yeah, so Brad Johnson was right before my time, boy, being diehard purple. I mean, literally a couple weeks before. So that's probably why.
But if you're going to go off straight greatest quarterbacks to ever play for the Vikings, you're going to go Fran Tarkington. You're going to go Warren Moon, Rich Gannon, Brett Favre.
Rich Gannon.
Randall Cunningham. Right. He won 2 MVPs, man.
Rich Gannon. Hold on. You ain't even mentioning Dante Culpepper, though. Like, what's taking you so long? I'm going with
guys that either were Hall of Fame or MVPs.
What's taking you so long? What's taking you so long to get the Culpepper?
I would say I'm going with I started naming the guys that won MVPs in the league or are in the Hall of Fame.
Look at my cup. That cup looked good in camera, man.
So Fran Tarkington, Hall of Fame.
That is on there.
Warren Moon, Hall of Fame. Randall Cunningham, MVP. I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame. Rich Gannon, MVP. And then we can talk about guys who won Super
2018.
Bowls. Brad Johnson. Who else we got here?
Randy Moss was introduced into the Hall of Fame 2018. That's what this cup said. That's what this cup is. Speaking of the Hall of Fame. Rap, show us a tour. Show us a tour of the cup up close. I don't know if it'll focus. I don't know if it'll focus, Eli, man. It might not focus on it. Let's see. Because my camera's on like manual focus, man. You can't really see it, man. 84. I actually got this cup at US Bank Stadium in 2018 when we played the Dolphins. And I also got that towel. There's a towel behind me that y'all see the SK right there. It actually says Skol. With the
somewhere I got something where I have cards they gave out at the Super Bowl because I was living in Orlando, and they gave out cards and promo cards, and they were bigger than normal cards, and they were pretty nice. And one of them was Randy Moss. And
look, and I had to sit on a plane. I had to sit on a plane. I'm from Charleston again, like everybody knows already. I had to fly from Charleston to Charlotte, and then I had to sit on the plane from Charlotte all the way to Minnesota, man. That's a long ass plane flight. That's like, I think it was like 4.5 hours, bro. That's a long time to be sitting on a plane, but I made sacrifices to go to US Bank Stadium because I had to see my Vikings play in US Bank. I just felt like I wasn't a all the way Vikings fan yet until I go see where we play, how we play in our home stadium, man. Rock with the fans, man. It was the time of my life. I stayed right downtown. I could see the stadium from my hotel room. Me and my wife, we stayed in a Skyrise hotel. I mean, it was one of the best trips I ever had, man. Walked to the stadium. Actually drove in a limo to the stadium. We went to a bar that was at the bottom of the hotel, and then they pick all the fans up in like in limos. Like they just take trips back and forth for the fans. Like the bar's like affiliated. You like you pregame and shit. I mean, they got a setup down there, man. If you're a Vikings fan and you've never been to Minnesota, man, go down there and stay downtown by the stadium. On game day morning, you will enjoy it. It is fun, man. Minnesota knows how to get it done, like and party and just cater to the Vikings fans, man. I had one of the best times of my life. You know, everybody's friendly. That's the one good thing I like about Vikings fans and Vikings, just the atmosphere, man. People are friendly in Minnesota. Minnesota's a friendly ass state. I'll tell you that right now.
They call it Minnesota nice. You heard that, right?
I haven't heard that, but I'm gonna tell you, I can tell.
You haven't heard that?
Nah.
Yeah, it's called Minnesota nice.
Okay.
Gus Frerotte, man, 13 games, he's 10-3.
He ain't better than damn Case Keenum.
He actually has a higher winning percentage than Case Keenum. Unbelievable. He has the highest winning percentage outside of Sean Hill is 1-0. Bob Berry, I have no idea who that is, 1-0, and Norm Snead 1-0.
I always wonder what Sam Bradford would have did if he never hurt his knee.
God, I don't know. We went 5-0 and then ended up the season 8-8 that first year.
Yeah.
And then, thank God, in the Bears game, they decided to put Case Keenum in. And in the second half, they put Case Keenum in, and he ended up winning the game.
Yeah. Who did we throw in the first year when Sam got hurt? Who was it? Quarterback? Who was the quarterback? Was it Sean Hill?
When Sam got hurt in the second year with the team.
When we went 5-0 and then we went 8-8.
No, it was Sam Bradford the whole year.
Oh yeah, that's right. He just
and then he came out the next year. He came out, got hurt in like the first.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was the second game. I think it was the second game. Casey Keenum came in, and then they were talking about putting Bridgewater, and it was even later in the season they were talking about because Bridgewater came back too. Yeah. So now we had Sam Bradford came back, sucked. He was still hurt. We tried to play him against the Bears. Casey Keenum brought us back, won the game, and then they were talking about Bridgewater's back. That maybe we should start Bridgewater, and we didn't. We stuck with Case Keenum. Right decision, Yeah. Who knows what would have happened if Bradford was just healthy that whole season?
Yeah, man, that was a good season though, man. That 2017 season, man. Damn. We had the defense we needed, man. We had everything we needed. It was time. But this year right here,
that was the number one defense in the league that year.
It's gonna turn up this year, man. Watch. We're gonna be laying the hat out there. But yeah, man. So hey, I feel like we did what we did tonight, Dave, man. Hey, appreciate everybody that was tapped in with us, man. Y'all
I'm done with
stayed on with
school
us.
now, man. I'm done.
Hey, an
Got my
hour
MBA.
and 30
done.
minutes. Hey, look, we still got so what? I think the dates came out before we log off, everybody. The dates came out to where training camp starts July 24th. I think it's July 24th. I don't know if we're going live Eli tomorrow. Probably not, man, but I'm definitely gonna bring y'all a video tomorrow night or something. So I'm definitely gonna be working, man. Like I say, I'm back home now, so I'm gonna be working.
I leave Wednesday. I come back July 5th.
The only way, okay, you going out of town too, so you got to grind
I'm
down
out
like
Wednesday.
me now.
I'm back July 5th. Maybe we do something Tuesday night. I don't know.
Yeah, we can do something Tuesday night before you go. Then you let me know, man. We can do that. But Eli, the only way I'm always your birthday. Hey, you know I'm gonna wish you a birthday, man. I got a surprise for you, man.
Happy birthday, man.
I'm doing a video tomorrow, so make sure you tap in, man, because I'm definitely gonna shout my boy Eli out in the video, man. So make sure you tap in for sure. But yeah, and if you want, Eli, man, if you like getting on camera, you can go live with me tomorrow if you want for your birthday, man. We can turn up, you know what I mean? But yeah, but we'll definitely keep y'all posted. July 24th, man, training camp starts. I'm hyped, man. We're gonna be cranking these videos out like crazy, bro.
Yeah, and my wife will be gone the whole time during to Panama with my kid. You know, we're going live here.
Listen, when training camp starts, we might be going live every night. I'm gonna just keep it real with y'all. It might be an every night thing, man.
Yeah, I'll be going solo.
The news coming out, we gonna be popping it to you. You hear me? But yeah, man. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Holla at your boy. Make sure y'all go subscribe to Dave, man. Minnesota Sports Talk.
Yeah, I put out a video during this video. I timed it, so you can go listen to what I said more in depth about my top 10.
Let's do it.